Hi folks, this is Rose from In Rose's Garden, and since my next craft show is going to be a Celtic Festival, we are working on some Celtic themed earrings. So I've got two pair all set out, ready to go and put them together. So let's turn down and we'll look at them. One is a simpler, really simple pair, the other's a little more difficult. Okay, here are our two pair of earrings all set out, ready to go. These pieces aren't put together. But anyway, we are going to, this one, as I said, is very simple. I've got a couple of eye pins out. Just going to hook them up here, go up there, make a wrapped loop, and put our ear wire on. Those are done. The ones over here are more difficult. They're going to be, we're turning this this connector, and it is a thick connector, by the way, into a chandelier. We're going to do that with some little eye pins here, and then we're going to put a piece up in the top. We'll just start with these really simple ones here. So all you have to do is, well, my eye pin is a little crooked. That's nothing uncommon. They half the time come a little bit crooked when you get them. So just straighten it out by I just straighten it by rubbing it through my fingers. You might want to use a pair of nylon jaw pliers or some such thing as that. Then we're going to put this little Celtic knot on the bottom. Then once you got that in, it's just this piece, which is a little 4-leaf clover, Czech Glass 4-leaf clover, and then a little this doesn't want to go through for some reason. There must be something stuck in here. There we go. Whoa, it's bending it. Well, we'll just start with this one for right now. And it's giving us the same problem. Interesting. Okay, it's on. It did bend our wire, but we'll just straighten that back out. It's not like it's a big deal, because now is when we're going to put our ear wire on. So we'll just make sure we're facing the proper direction, bend it over. Now I use my stepped bell making pliers, the smallest one, to do my bell or my wrap loop. Bring her around, make our lollipop shape, and then we're going to feed our ear wire on. Once we have that on, take hold of our earring with our pliers right at where they come together. Take a second pair of pliers, or if you prefer to do it by hand, that works too, and then just wrap our wire around. And I see I'm letting mine drop a little bit, so we can bring that up again, and then do the back. And once you've got that all put in place there, trim it off. I've got my wire going a little bit further than I wanted it to, so we'll bring that back and just trim it. Tuck it in. Then we check how we're sitting here. This one looks like it's rolled a little bit sideways, so just to fix that, put your pliers in and just bring it over a little bit. And there's our first one finished. Now we're just going to make the second one exactly the same. So we'll open up our little loop down here at the bottom by giving it a twisting motion. Feed our piece in, Looks like I may not have quite opened it enough. Feed the piece in. Oop. Close her back up. Feed on this piece, and then this little guy. Now I'm thinking these guys may not be evenly drilled out here, but I'm going to get my bead reamer out. We'll go in here, see if we can figure out what its problem is by simply going in both sides a bit and see if we can get whatever's in here, clear it out some. I'm thinking it's maybe the coating. As you can see, this bead has been antiqued a bit, and then it gets a little bit of a coating in there from the black that they used to put the coating on with. And we're still giving us problems. So I will simply go get an extra bead. We've got another bead here now, so we'll just feed this baby on. Oh, and this one went on really quite easily, so that's good. So we need to bend him. Get out our stepped bell making pliers. Put them in the slot. Wrap it around the smallest. Bring it down to a lollipop shape, like so. Feed our ear wire in. Grab the top right as they come together. Turn it. Now I am right hand dominant, so I like to twist with this hand. So that's why I switch. If you don't want to, you don't have to. If it works well for you the other way. Now it's time to trim our wire off. And as soon as we get our wire off, we tuck her in, and then this earring is finished. Tuck. Now let's check and make sure everything looks good. That looks pretty good. Maybe a tiny bit sideways. There we go. And our second earring is finished. So here we go. Our first pair of earrings are done. Aren't those cute? Let's set this pair aside. We'll put this extra bead up later. I'll have to ream that out. And we'll see about this pair. So as I say, what I want to do is take this and we're going to turn it into a chandelier. And this one bead's going to go on top. These other little Celtic knots are going to go down below with one bead in between. And then I'm going to put this bead, the little silver bead, and this bead, and then the little cross. It's going to go here. So looks like I have an extra little round bead out. That's fine. So how we're going to put those on is with our little beads here. So we will just open these up. And hopefully these will fit on here because these are very small little holes. Yep, that went on all right. Close this baby up. This one is stubborn, it doesn't want to close. There we go. We got it pretty well closed. I think these might be steel. Steel is harder to work with than other metals. So if you do get a steel one, be aware you're going to have a more difficult time. I don't think this one is though, so maybe that's a one-off in my bunch. Let's find out. That one went quite easily. So not steel. But it is. I did get it bent though, so we need to straighten that up. There we go. And then my little cross. And this one is again a steel one. I can feel it. Okay, so now what we want to do is we want to put our little beads onto here, like so. And we have a choice now. Do we want to put these in the hard, what they call the hardwired way, which is to go right through the link to hold it, or do we want to use a jump ring? Now, if we use a jump ring, because of the width of this, we're going to have to use a big jump ring as opposed to a small one. So that is something we have to debate about. Come on, baby, where's your hole? There it is. These tiny beads are sometimes very hard to work with because their holes are difficult to find. Okay, so now that's the pieces for here, and we'll put those we're going to wire them on just like so. So I am going to hook them in the hard wire. In order to do that, what we'll do is we will make a loop just like we normally would. But the difference that we're going to do is now, instead of making a smaller loop like I normally make, I'm going to go to the second size so we have a slightly larger loop. So we'll bring her around. And I just made that loop going the wrong direction. So what we want to do is just, if you do that, is just take hold of it and give it a twist so it's going the direction you want it to be. Okay, so we take this and slip it through the hole. Now probably have to spread this up some because this is a big piece. So now we're going to want to grab it with our pliers, bring it back together like so, and then wrap. See, there's our first one on. I have to pull this wire the rest of the way around and trim it off. So we'll bring this and come here, plier. Bring it the rest of the way around here. And we're going to trim it off right here. And tuck it in. Now, when you put it in here, if it looks crooked, then this is the time to straighten it up a little bit. So there is the first one on. So now we'll do our cross. and around and lollipop with a relatively good size opening here. Now she will go on here like so. And now we do the same. Grab it with our pliers. Bring it down into place because it's way out because of the way it was put on here because of the large loop, needing the large loop. And now we just wrap it like we normally would. And trim her off. Tuck her in. And 2 pieces done. As you can see, this one's leaning over a little bit, so I'm going to take my pliers and I'm going to hold this side and just lean her up some. So there we go. There is the first 2 pieces. And now all we have is our second little knot down here. And then we'll put the other bead on and finish her up on the top. So let's get this one going. And again, we just want to make our loop. She goes. And then we bring her over here. And I noticed that my lollipop shape is sort of gone because it's gone over here somewhat. So we'll bring this back over here. We're going to have to straighten this loop up later. So let's get over in here and wrap this baby up. Now once you get to your end pieces, you're getting a little bit more less place to work, so you've got to be careful with your pieces as you work with them. Now make sure you don't have anything inside there when you cut that. And then we're going to tuck this in, and then we're going to straighten that loop up because it's way out of whack. So in order to do that, just put your pliers in where it needs to be moved. Hold it with your hand or another pair of pliers and bring it around. As you can see, it's pretty well. It still needs to bring a little bit more, but it's a lot better than it was. There we go. So there is the bottom of our earring. So now the last thing we have to do is put the top on here. Now this is going to be a little bit different. We're going to use, where did they fall to? There they are. We're going to use a head pin, but then we're going to cut the end off to make so we can use this, make this loop here. Okay, so we have this head pin, and what I'm going to do is cut the head off, and then we're just going to make that loop that we're putting in here, up and around and down. Now because my head pins are a little smaller than I could have used. We're probably only going to do about 2 spins here on the bottom. Maybe not even that many, depends on what it's going to let us do. So let's pull this down because it got out of shape a bit. There's our lollipop back now. And we'll get this. And we'll wrap these 2 little we'll wrap a couple wraps right around here. Now I got that crooked, so we want to straighten that. There we go. And now we put this little bead on here. And then we will do a regular loop up here with the smaller size. Over and around, down and about, and then we'll put our ear wire on. Slide it on, grab this with the pliers, and then wrap her up. Come on, baby, tuck in there. Okay, this tuck didn't want to go in quite right, so I'm going to have to work it a bit so I can get it to go in where I want it to. So there is our earring. This is our little chandelier earring. And now we just have to make our second one. Make that one exactly the same way. We'll just open up our little eye pins here, put our pieces on the bottom. And I may not have this open enough. There we go. Those are up. Come on, baby, where's your hole? There we go. These little ones are sometimes extremely difficult to get on. So 2, and then we have one more to put on our wire. Come on, there we go. Straighten it up and put our bead on and bend it over so that we can get its loop made. So anyway, we're going to wrap these babies up just like we did before with going over the second one. So because we have to go around that big connector. So there's one wrapped up. Come on, baby, let go. 2, all the way around. There's 2, and here is our number 3. Now remember to leave a gap because we got to go into that middle piece. So you can do these in whatever order you want to put them on. I'm just going to grab one and put it on. Slide over the loop. Come on, baby. And then bring them sideways. Grab the wires right there where they come together. If you're me, you switch hands now. And then you're going to wrap that wire. And I just bent it, but that's all right. We can straighten it up in a minute. There we go. And now trim it. And tuck. Okay, let's see if it's still crooked, or do we still need to fix that bend? And yes, I do. So, and the top is a little bit wonky too. So let's take our pliers and give that a slight tug that way. And there we go. The cross is on. So now we need to put our 2 side pieces on. So just get one of them, pull her through the side piece here, grab it with our pliers, switch hands, grab this piece with the other pliers and wrap. Trim off our excess. Tuck her in. Check to see if we need to straighten wires. This one needs a little bit. There we go. And there is piece number 2 on. So now we have our last piece, which goes here in this piece. Come on, baby. There we go. Now we have to bring this one together. Switch hands and wrap. Now the wonderful thing about wire is that if you've got it a little bit wonky, like as you could see, I've fixed mine 2 or 3 times here while we've been working on this pair of earrings. And if you gotta fix them, You got to fix them. And once they're fixed, they're pretty good. Let's see. Yep, I got just a teeny touch more I got to do here, and then this one is wrapped. And we got to do the last little bit up at the top. Okie dokie, and that one looks good. So now we just have that last piece to put on. So we will cut the head off this head pin, do the bend, over to the second piece, over and around, bring her all the way around, feed her on, and hold it while we pull this around just once or twice. Now if you want to use a simple loop here, you can do a simple loop and just do the one and not do any wraps at all. And that would make it very easy. Just tuck that last little bit into there. There we go. Put our bead on. Okay. Then we're going to do our ear wire, which of course is now back to the smaller size, over and around, down and over. Feed our ear wire on. Now if you've got a definite fronted back, this one actually does because our cross is only one-sided. You want to feed your ear wire in backwards so that when it comes through and loops around, it is facing the proper direction. Come here, you. Tuck. Now, as you can see, this is folded backwards just a little bit. That happens a lot when you're wrapping. Just take hold of it and bring it forward like so. And now we're good. And there is our second pair of earrings all done. Aren't those cute? So now here we have our 2 pair of earrings. Simple, much more difficult. And I hope you enjoyed making these with me. Okay, I hope you enjoyed making these earrings with me. Here are the ones we just finished with the pretty chandeliers with our cross at the bottom. Aren't those pretty? And then, of course, our more simple pair with just the charm and the clover and Celtic bead at the top. So that's our 2 pair of earrings. I hope you enjoyed making those with me. I enjoyed making them, and I hope you like them. This has been Rose from In Rose's Garden, and we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.